is up, YouTube? It is your boy JoeWo, and in today's video I'm gonna be going over the biggest announcement to Warzone 2 right now. Now, Call of Duty gave us information about what changes are coming to Season 2 of Warzone, and it's actually pretty crazy. Looting is getting changed, movement actually got buffed, and let's just dive straight into it. So this is the community update page, which I'll link down below. They said obviously they're gonna be fixing a lot of the crashes and stability, which is gonna be absolutely incredible. I definitely know I'm not the only one that I've been dev erroring and scan and repair and all of that on really good games, and I know you guys and your friends probably have too, and that's one of the most frustrating things. Going into the next one, they said they are going to be increasing and improving audio and footsteps, which is absolutely amazing. That has kind of been a complaint across the board of everyone of how bad the audio is in Warzone 2. Funny enough, they actually got an award as a studio for having the best audio. Yeah, whatever. But they're going to be increasing audio, which is really, really cool. One small change I think that's very important that they are going to be doing is increasing the UI, or the interface of the game in general. It can be kind of tough to navigate, obviously, through camos, through menus, through all that kind of stuff. So I think they're going to be trying to make it more simple, which is a good small change. A massive, massive change that is going to be huge for all of us is the weapon balancing. Here, it says they're going to be investigating and kind of giving us more information before the launch, so in a couple days or so, about weapon balancing in Warzone 2. You guys know right now the RPK and the Fennec have been dominating, and there's a couple guns that are obviously good, but those guns are the best, and that's what everybody is running. And I really hope for Season 2, they bring out some new guns that can compete and nerf those guns into the ground to give us kind of a more reliable and just normal TTK, and kind of a way to adapt and use other stuff and can balance that into the current metas. Next up is the 1v1 Gulag is coming back. Again, this is one of the biggest things that I think kind of got put on the forefront when they were talking about updates, is that they were going to take out the 2v2 Gulag, which I didn't really mind it that much. But they are going to be bringing back the 1v1 Gulag. It's kind of strange that they put this at the forefront when we know there was way more problems and there was bigger kind of fish in the sea to tackle about the game than the Gulag, but they're going to be bringing back the 1v1, which is pretty cool. A big change they made about the Gulag too is they actually took out the shotgun, which we know was very dumb in the Gulag. And they're going to be doing more SMGs, ARs, and light machine guns as primary weapons as the circles kind of progress. So depending on where you go and when you die, depending on the circles, you will get obviously a rotation of guns, which you then can be respawned with, which would be a great thing like they had in Caldera, where you're kind of getting back into the fight, where if you had a starter pistol, coming back from the Gulag, trying to get back into an engagement would be very hard if you have a starter pistol against teams with loadouts. I mean, obviously it's supposed to be that way, but now you'll be able to have an actual primary weapon, and you'll have more cash coming out of the Gulag, which will help you and your team regain. A big change I'm very excited about also is the cash economy in the game. They're going to be adding money back into chest. An interesting point here is they say they're going to be taking the money out of legendary supply boxes, which can be interesting to see. Now, it says also that there will be the lowest value of cash piles from ground loot to 800, and from the cash registers to 500, because we know before there was $100 stacks of money, which in real life I'll take that, but in the game, give me more than 100. So that'll be a great change, and I think that obviously when this goes on, it'll be interesting to see how much you can regain and the things you can buy, obviously from loadouts and things like that. But in buy stations, we know it limits you to buying UAVs, airstrikes, precisions, and things like that. So we'll kind of see the balancing of the money compared to the things you can buy. But I think overall, this is a very good change and much needed. A huge change they're doing also is they are going away from the backpack looting system, which personally, coming from Black Ops 4 Blackout, I didn't really mind, but I'm glad they're doing this because I know a lot of people didn't like it, and me either, because it was kind of ridiculous how you could have 5 self-reses and 5 precisions and all of that. But they're going to be going back to the old kind of vomit looting that we're used to. So as you guys know, in Warzone 1, when you died, all of your loot would just kind of splatter out and just be there. But now they're gonna be going back to that system. But it's gonna be interesting to see how they kind of implement it, because sometimes loot would get stuck in the wall, or depending on how many dead bodies were in the area, kind of loot could pile in, and it would be hard to see throughout, you know, backpacks and dead bodies and things like that. So this is gonna be very interesting, and I think overall it's a good change, because the backpack thing, it was cool, but I think that overall, as they brought it into the game, kind of hard to do, and definitely a little bit confusing when you were looting, and it made it OP if you could find a ton of selfs and stuff. So like we can see here, it says, as announced last week, we're shifting away from loot windows and menus to floating loot, which again, we were very used to in Warzone 1. Will now drop out of all containers in the world, similar to loot from supply boxes. So as you guys know, if you open up a supply box, things will fly out. Same thing now. If you die, your loot will just splatter and kind of lay there. And this change is intended to improve the pace pace of the gameplay by minimizing time spent navigating the UI and getting players back into the action. Great change. I died a ton trying to loot through backpacks, trying to drop stuff, all of that. I would be spending way too much time looting, not a lot of time getting into the action. So overall, this is a great change. As I see here, another massive change coming to a season 2. It says season 2 will introduce customizable perk packages. You guys know I love my double time. I love my fast hands. And right now I've been loving bird's eye, but that is going to be getting changed. So that means will I be running ghost, quick fix, things like that. Overall, great change. They're going to be bringing back customizable perk packages, which obviously I'll be doing the testing on to see what works, and I'll be giving you guys the information about that. So if you guys are new here and you would like to subscribe down below, I'm going to be giving you guys the best loadouts, the best perk packages, and all of that for season 2 when it launches. But this is a great feature. They're bringing back the perk packages and not the preset things we have now. So they have also decreased the RNG factor of the game, and they are taking out 3-plate vest, where as we know, we would land in with only 2 plates and you would have to find a vest. They are going away with that system, which I personally love. I feel like that was so RNG if you were fighting somebody, especially with how fast the TTK was. You didn't find a vest and they did. It doesn't really matter the gun you have. You're going to probably die. But they're going to be taking away with that, and you're going to be spawning in now with a 3-plate vest, which is incredible, and I love that. That's a great change that I think a lot of people gave them feedback on, and they changed that. So bravo, thank you, Call of Duty. And the moment we've all been waiting for since Warzone 2 came out, movement, and they are buffing it. They are going to be doing an increase and a buff to movement in Warzone 2, where they're going to have now where we can obviously plate and run. Now it says, which is going to be a very interesting point to see, obviously, it says we have made an important tweak to movement that should yield better outcomes for players in combat. Starting with season 2, players will be able to bust through doors while plating the way they would if they were sprinting. Now we'll see what that means and how fast that is actually going to be. And they also say this change increases a slight increase to movement speed while plating to enable players to get back to cover in moments of need. I think this is great though. Either way, any increase to movement speed and just kind of a skill gap in general is great, because when you were plating and running, if you got caught around a corner, we're basically stuck. Where if they broke your shield and they were pushing you, you were stuck. Any increase to this movement speed is a buff to movement and a W in my book, because now this will definitely help more skilled players and better players navigate through fights and things like that. With this increase, I think this is a great change. And honestly, they've been listening. I see a lot of people always commenting on videos and stuff saying, Joe, they aren't listening, they aren't hearing us. And honestly, giving them feedback like this, they do see our comments sometimes. And I think this was a massive change to plating and running. It's something that I've been saying for a long time. So this is my favorite change coming with Warzone Season 2. Down below, guys, let me know what your guys' favorite change is, and let me know what you guys would like to see in the next season. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!